Hey homies, Hugh Fragment here, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video ever. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video today. I've been so excited to start something like this for a really long time, and it means the world to me that you're checking this out today, so thank you so much. I just want to start off by saying, who I am, what I'm doing, why I'm doing this. So I'm Hugh Fragment, nickname obviously. I've been collecting fragrances for about almost 2 years now, I believe. Something that I got started on because I actually needed a new fragrance, and I started diving into that YouTube space, going through, watching a bunch of videos of other YouTubers who had been collecting for much longer than I have, and it inspired me to just go and, start doing this, collecting, buying stuff, and it started with one, and then two, and three, and then four turned into that. So it's been a long road. It's a very expensive hobby, but it's a really fun hobby, and I've enjoyed doing it so much. So I figured since I have so much to say, so much to talk about and discuss, I thought I'd bring it to y'all. And this channel is just gonna be my honest opinions on the fragrances that I have that y'all recommend to me to go check out and stuff like that, and stuff that I'm just really interested in, and just my own personal opinions about how they smell, how they make me feel, if I think you should go and pick it up, stuff like that. So, now that that's out of the way, let's start out with my first fragrance review ever about my first fragrance I've ever owned. And I bet, I mean, it's going to probably be in the photo, but yeah. Polo Blue. Actually, the first one I ever had was the EDT, which is a lot weaker than this one, but it smells about the same. This is my second bottle, which I ended up going with the EDP. It smelled pretty much the same, so I was like, I might as well just pick it up. And the stuff's a lifesaver. I mean, you can see there is like barely anything left. Even with my collection 60-something bottles, this bad boy, I still wear it all the time. Even though it's cooling down a little bit here in Texas, it's still my go-to. I've gotten the most compliments out of any of those fragrances in my collection, even some of the most expensive ones. This one is the one I always fall back on, even more than like Dior Sauvage. It's just been a lifesaver, and I'm really glad I get to talk about it today. I know y'all probably were a little confused on why I would say this one, but in my personal opinion, this is probably the best blue fragrance on the market. Better than Bleu de Chanel, better than Dior Sauvage. I know that's blasphemy in the fragrance community, but that's just my personal opinion. So let's talk about this a little bit. So Polo Blue is described as a woody aromatic, and it was created by Carlos Benaim. I think that's how you say his last name, Benaim. And this guy's done so many fragrances. I went through the list. Some of the big ones were the Eternity series from Calvin Klein, which is, I mean, everybody knows about that, including Euphoria and all the Eternity flankers. And one that I didn't actually know was Sean John I Am King. That one threw me for a loop. I didn't expect that, but he's done like over 50 fragrances, probably more than that. And there was a quote on the website that talks about him that I thought was really cool, and basically what he said, there's an Arab saying, whatever is not given is lost. That's how I've tried to live my life and my career. And I think that's incredible, coming from an incredible perfumer. So thank you for making such an incredible fragrance like this. It's very much appreciated, trust me. So let's go through some of the notes. So top notes are C notes, bergamot, and cardamom. So it's a blue fragrance. Bergamot, cardamom, and C notes. Obviously, that's obviously going to be in a blue fragrance, and they're very pronounced in this one. Even though it's on the top, it's definitely still there throughout like the entire life of the fragrance. So if you're not into that, go check out something else, honestly, because that's mostly what this is. For mid notes, it gets really interesting, honestly. You got basil, verbena, sage, and orris. So basil, a little bit of basil. Orris, I don't get any orris. Orris is iris. I don't get any of that. It's not like a Dior Homme lipstick kind of thing going on. It's not like that. I barely get any of that. Basil, a little bit, sage for sure. I'm not really sure what verbena smells like, so I can't really speak on that personally. So now let's go to the base. The base, we have suede, vetiver, woodsy notes, and patchouli. So that's where I think this really changes up a little bit. The patchouli is very, very noticeable. If you ever smelled anything like Acqua di Gio Profumo, that muskiness you kind of get on the bottom, where it's I mean, not the incense part, but the little bit of muskiness. That's kind of what you get from this one on the dry down. Suede, yeah. Vetiver, yeah. But not like the extremely fresh vetiver. It's very low key, but it's very, very nice. The woodsy notes, obviously, they come out a lot in the base. So those are the notes. So, I mean, it's really hard to explain why I like this so much. I don't know if it's just because it was the first fragrance I ever smelled that I like personally got emotionally attached to, but it stood out among everything in my collection. Even though I don't wear it as much as I used to, if I'm ever like, you know, I need to impress this someone, I need to impress this girl, I need to impress these people for this interview, this is definitely the one that I'd be reaching for. And I mean, it's still, I think, a little bit overpriced. Like, I do not buy this at retailers. Don't do it. They'll go and sample it, get your samples. Definitely buy online a Fragrance Net, Fragrance X, Fragrance Buy USA, stuff like that. Don't buy this in store. And then when it comes to the different formulations, the different concentrations, EDT, EDP are awesome. Some of the other ones I have smelled Deep Blue. It's kind of smells the same, but for some reason I don't get the same projection and stuff, even though it's a bigger concentration. It gives me that Bleu de Chanel Parfum vibe where it's like a little bit closer to your skin, but it's still like it lasts there longer. So if I were to choose, I definitely would say go for the EDP, but if you want to save a little bit more money, go for the EDT. Something I probably should have done in the initial, when I introduced this fragrance, so show you the distribution. So it's not too bad. It's pretty wide. You get a good amount in there. Oh, it smells so good. It smells good. Now that I smell it now, I definitely starting to get bergamot, cardamom, raffetol. Smells awesome. But anyways, thank you so much for coming to check out my first video. I hope you liked it. Leave in the comments, you know, any tips, tricks, stuff like that you'd like to pass on to me to help make my channel better. Anything I didn't mention here, please let me know so I can put it in my script in the future. It's not really a script, it's just a few notes. But thank you so much. I hope you all have a great day.